Okay, game 2, we are on Cosmic Sapphire now. It's a nice change of pace to see this map, and not just Royal Blood every time. Workers in production for both sides now. This is looking like it's going to be a lot more normal for Fyreheart than it is the opponent. Than it is from last game. Sorry, again, it's going to be normal from both sides. These guys seem to know what they're doing, which is just encouraging. Pylon first, each player, that's cool. The pylon comes down a little, slightly slower. Oh, okay, this pylon's going down on the low ground, and I don't dislike this at all. On Cosmic Sapphire, this entrance into the expand is, I mean, you could have put that. Your entrance to the expand is quite easy to wall off. It's quite thin, right? So a low ground wall off in a PvP, that's fine. At earlier depths, we'll have issues with this. The early Zealot charge will have issue with this. You could have the pylon like next to the gateway, but I'm not certain. Maybe our reigning champion Tahn knows exactly how to wall off on this map. I'm not sure. Very straight up build from Tahn. Everything looking like it should do. Meanwhile, the opponent not building anything for a moment. Now they are building a gateway and a nexus. Okay. I like the early nexus. That's cool. It's a nice idea, but I can't help but feel you probably should be making probes to the back of that, my friend. Cybercore going to come down at a very, very normal timing. Yeah, look, he does know. What a smart chap. Look here. You've got between the Cybercore and the gateway, you just need one unit to plug that hole. That's really great, isn't it? The probe was even demonstrating that for us just a second ago, so that's wonderful. Right, Tahn, good stuff, good stuff. You do know how to wall off this one. Alright, the Nexus coming down now that the wall, once a unit comes out, is going to be complete. Now, my question to you, Tahn, is what's the point in this gateway if there's no units coming out of it? I know you don't have the minerals for it now, but that must be an error in, you know, what you're building. You must have built, I don't know, a couple, like, I don't know, this gas is a bit, I don't know, maybe this gas is about right. I would have liked to see a probe, something in production faster to come to clog this hole. As it is, you have got an adept in production now, and I hope to see this adept maybe do some things in the early game. That would be very, very nice indeed. Your opponent's finally starting a side core much later than your opponent. Fyreheart, it's really important you get this down. Your opponent had put this down at about 1 minute 20. You're like a minute behind putting this down, and that's like really bad in PvP because Warp Gate is like one of the most important upgrades. So, you know, being behind on that is bad. So tighten up your build by putting this down long before your second gas, which you're not even mining out of, or your second gateway, which you don't really have the means to produce from right now. Warp Gate is on its way to finishing. We have this adept just sat here in the wall. If you were just going to put a unit in the wall, I'd rather this just be a Zealot. Zealot's a bit, it can just sit there, it's a bit chunkier. While this adept, like, you know, its main benefit is its mobility with its shading. So, like, you want to be doing things with it. I do see a Stalker is out. So it looks as though you might be able to do a switcheroo and actually send this guy out to do things. As it is, you've got an Observer and a Sentry in production. I like this very, very much. Both of these units can scout pretty efficiently with the hallucination and with just being an Observer. So that's nice. Forge in production for Fyreheart. Much later this time, of course. That makes perfect sense. I still think it's a bit early for a Forge, but that's whatever. We can live with that. It's not too bad. Again, these idle gateways are making me a bit sad. Warp Gate has started for you, but it's a long way off. Your opponent's long finished it. Twilight Council coming down. Okay, nice. I think these are nice builds. Okay, the 3 pylons to unsupply block yourself. Alright, Tahn. Don't worry, I supply block like this all the time, so I forgive you. The Immortal in production. This guy's gonna put in some work. Again, I'm disappointed that this guy didn't get to do anything. You know? You could have, like, scouted with this. Currently, you have, like, no information. At least as far as I'm aware. No, wrong one. Actually, no, you have seen stuff. Oh, because you're sending the Observer. Okay, so you sent the Observer over, and now you're scouting. You could have scouted earlier than this if you're adept, but this is fine. And maybe even, like, harass the probes, but whatever. The time for that's now gone. There's Zealots out here, so... with the Observer, you are going to see literally everything. Observers are pretty hard to see. And again, there's no detection for the opponent, so you know that's pretty rough. Again, you put down these gases way too early, Tahn. Like, you're not mining out of them. Like, put them down once you've saturated. So, like, now would be a good time to put them down, but you've already got them, so, you know. A nice expand from Fyreheart onto a third base. That's actually faster than our good friend Tahn is going to be putting down their expand. Resonating glaives in production from the Twilight Council. I'm not quite sure why, given that... Oh, wait, no, you do have adepts. My bad. Okay, so these adepts are going to have glaives. I'd rather this be charged, but I guess glaives isn't that bad. The pylons, both sides have built triple pylon in response to a, in response to a supply block this game. I like the charge from being chrono boosted out from Tahn. I think this is probably the better upgrade to pick in this particular instance. That being said, our good friend has no zealots, but with this many warp gates, I imagine they will be able to warp in zealots momentarily, or with this warp prism. The fort's coming down at a pretty natural time. I'm immediately starting an upgrade. This is good. Tahn, you're spending your minerals and gas well. That being said, so is Fyreheart, but I think you're doing it a little bit better. Your build order seems pretty tight. You're putting down more gateways, while your opponent is opting for some more tech. Your opponent's putting down some stargates, so we're gonna see some air units from Fyreheart. I'm curious to see which ones those will be. Now, these stargates could have come out a lot earlier, but you've gone for a gateway army. But that being said, and Resonant Glaive is about to finish, but, you know, again, these guys are mobile, these adepts, they can shade in and stuff. I want to see them out on the map. The armies, the supplies for both sides are looking quite even. Tahn down 7 workers, but somehow not necessarily down in eco. Probably because you're oversaturated on both of your bases, Fyreheart. So please transfer over here from probes from each base. It's Void Rays in production for Tahn, and this. So I'm not sure how I feel about the Void Rays. I think they're probably not a terrible pick, but you know, there are things that can shoot up here. So I'm not sure about that. As it is, these cannons being built are probably... Did they kill the Observer? No, they didn't. But they will stop the Observer seeing this. That's a lot of cannons. You don't need that many cannons. That's a lot of pylons. You don't need that many cannons to defend your natural. Just put down like 2 and put down a shield battery. That is a better defense. It looks as though the Observer is found. No, that's not an Observer. That's a probe. Okay, a probe is killed. Interesting. What else is happening? No workers in production for Tahn. What? Tahn, don't stop building workers. You were doing so well. Your opponent is still building workers, and that is, you know, an advantage they have that you don't. You need to build workers. But your army supply is much bigger. But that doesn't mean anything if you're not going to kill your opponent with it. You know, get out there on the map, do things. Oh, you're building Archons now. This is sick. That means you just put that on Templar Archives. I just completely missed it. Yeah, I did. Lol. That's funny. Never mind. Okay, now it looks like you want to go out on the map, which is fantastic. I don't like that this guy isn't an Archon right now. Like, you haven't got a Storm. You may as well just turn him into an Archon. Warp in another Templar and make him. Don't you also have a Warp Prism? Where's your Warp Prism gone? Where'd it go? He didn't die. No, where'd it go? There it is. Okay, here comes the Warp Prism. So it looks like this army's going to move out before upgrades can finish for Fyreheart. So not only has Tahn got a bigger army, Tahn also has a better upgraded army, and I think that's going to be a big deal. I don't see, if they don't just wait here for the upgrades to finish and this warp-in is done, like, this is substantial. I don't see how Fyreheart can defend this. While Fyreheart's been more macro-orientated, Tahn has just been pumping out units very, very efficiently. Fyreheart with this massive mineral bank, which, you know, you need to be spending more efficiently. Tahn has been keeping their minerals low, building a well-upgraded army, and yeah, with the Archons absolutely demoling these Void Rays. Yeah, this is going to be GG. I get it, unsurprisingly, because of the massive upgrade discrepancy and the massive size discrepancy. Look at the APMs on these players, you know? They're going for it. I mean, Not too surprising from our reigning champion. The natural will fall, and with it, the main's going to fall very shortly as well. I feel as though this game is over. So, Tahn, well played, very well done. Please do stop building workers though. That'll be nice. 42 is not where we want to stop. As to your opponent, Fyreheart, yeah, GG mate, I agree. GG. Fyreheart, don't stop unit production. Why aren't these gateways warp gates? Did warp gate ever finish? Hold up. Why aren't they warp gates? You finished warp gate, right? Yes. Why are these gateways then? Hold up. Why are these gateways? I know I'm meant to finish the replay here in theory, but... Oh, wait. They were here. What? What? Okay. So you turned your warp gates back into gateways. Why did you do that? If you want to respond to an army like this, when you have an army discrepancy, you want to be able to warp in things fast to defend. But you can't do that because you turned your 3 gateways. You should have more than this, by the way. If you're floating money, just build more gateways. You turn them back into gateways. If these were all warp gates and you'd built more warp gates, like your opponent did, you know, this is good stuff. I'd like to see this. Then you could have warped in a bunch of stuff to defend this. What's with all these random expands, man? That's not how you spend your money. Build more warp gates, please. Alright. So, yeah. The game ended. Tahn wins. It's 1-0. GG. Oh, it's not 1-0, sorry. It's 1-all, GG. We'll go on to game 3 very shortly.